What can a birth of a poor orphan tell us about the cruelty of Victorian society? Welcome back. In today's video, we will analyze the first part of the chapter Oliver Asks for More. In our last video, we had seen how Oliver Twist was born in a workhouse. Now this brings us to a couple of important discussions regarding the society. Now in the story, we see that right at the beginning, we see that Oliver is born in a workhouse, and we are drawn inside the workhouse and the conditions of the poor. We also notice an important commentary on the conditions of women in the Victorian society. We will explore all of that today. First, we will look into a particular law that is closely related to the establishment of the workhouse system. The amendment of the Poor Law in 1834. The law was originally passed in 1601. In 1834, it was amended again. What were the key features of this law? First was the establishment of the workhouses. The workhouses were supposed to provide help and assistance to poor so that they can sustain their lives. But it is seen that these workhouses became a den of corruption. Here the vulnerable was exploited. Only the truly desperate would end up in a workhouse. Another important feature of this law was that earlier the parish or the church, local parish or church, could help the poor, could provide aid for them, for the poor families, but now aid can only be found through centralized system. The local parish will not be able to help the poor. They will have to get into the workhouse, and grants, aids or any form of help would only arrive through these steps or through these mediums. The final and the most important feature of the law, however, was it stigmatized the poor. It was believed that the poor were in that condition because they were lazy or they were morally corrupt. The officials or the lawmakers or the society at large ignored the fact that there were lesser opportunities, lack of health in certain cases, lack of resources. Everything was ignored, and it was said that since they were not morally upright, that is the reason why they were poor. The reason of poverty was their lack of moral stronghold. This is truly an example of cruelty. Another aspect of the Victorian society we notice is its treatment towards women. The health law for protecting the women's right, everything was neglected. They only occupied the margins in the society, like the unnamed mother of Oliver Twist. The only thing that mattered in Victorian society was the image of the woman as the angel of the house or the fallen women. As a result, it so happened that women were exploited because there were no laws to protect their rights. In case of an illegitimate child, like we find in the story Oliver Twist, the women were blamed for the condition, and ironically the man was not held responsible in any of these cases. As a result, it became an usual occurrence where women would be exploited and they will suffer the consequences of it, like is evident from this line of the chapter where the doctor says the usual story. What do you all think about these unjust systems and laws that were prevalent in the Victorian society? Let me know in the comment section. If you like my work, do not forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel for more such interesting discoveries and interesting discussions. Please stay tuned for the next part of the story. Thank you for watching.